to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? So that's the mindset I'm trying to bring to the table.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it seemed frustrating.
There's just a lot of things going on right now.
Football related, personally?
All the above. Like you said, there's nothing. All we can do is focus week to week and try to win games. I don't think anybody's really thinking about the playoffs right now. That's within reach, but on our fingertips. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing and try to get better.
Yo, YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Q, man. Back at y'all again with another video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. So, it seems to me like Joe Burrow's career, man, is being ruined by the Cincinnati Bengals, man. I feel like this is a topic that's been getting a lot of attention lately. After Joe Burrow's recent press conference. He had a lot to say regarding the joy of football being sucked out of him because of the organizational woes of the Cincinnati Bengals, man. The Cincinnati Bengals had high hopes coming into the season, but unfortunately, Joe Burrow got hurt and he went down with a turf toe injury, and he had to miss like damn near the whole season. He recently just came back. Hasn't really looked as sharp, as the Joe Burrow we're used to seeing. After the press conference against the Buffalo Bills, he said that the joy of football isn't there right now. And he also said there's just a lot of things going on football-wise and personal-wise. My honest opinion on the situation, man, I think the Cincinnati Bengals have completely botched Joe Burrow's career. I know a lot of people have a lot to say about Joe Burrow, saying that he's regressed and all this and that. Two things could be true, but at the same time, man, if you look at this man's timeline as far as being the starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, he took this team to the Super Bowl, I think his second year in the league. Hasn't necessarily sniffed it since. But we all know, as far as like being a quarterback, we all know what Joe Burrow brings to the table, man. But this is really, really looking like Andrew Luck 2.0, man. If you guys can remember how great Andrew Luck was as a starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. But unfortunately, when Andrew Luck was there, they couldn't get the O-line right. They couldn't get the defense right. And Andrew Luck ended up retiring early, man, due to suffering too many injuries and having to go through the rehab process again. I think Joe Burrow's situation is a little different. I think up until this point of his career right now, I think Joe Burrow has had a better career than Andrew Luck. But like I said, man, he's being handcuffed by an organization that doesn't really know what the fuck they're doing. The Cincinnati Bengals are paying T. Higgins $28 million a year, which is fucking ridiculous. T. Higgins hasn't had an 1,000-yard season since 2022. We're in 2025. And right now, he's currently on a trajectory to not have 1,000 yards again this season. So what are you paying him $28 million for? And you also turn around and sign Jamar Chase to an $160 million contract, paying him $40 million a year. The Shamar Stewart situation, I'm just to name a few. You drafted Shamar Stewart in the first round. You refuse to pay the man to the point where he misses the entire training camp, rookie mini camp, and he had to play catch up throughout the whole season, and he ended up having a terrible season, man. So we don't even know if he's good. And then on top of that, you didn't want to pay Trey Henderson. And your defense is already bad. Your defense is the worst in the league. And you're not trying to pay guys, which makes absolutely no sense to me, man. The Cincinnati Bengals, instead of paying T. Higgins all that money because you really didn't need to. If you're gonna pay a wide receiver $40 million a year to play receiver, what the hell are you doing signing another receiver for $28 million? You're basically tying in $68 million between two players. It makes absolutely no sense. Why would you do that? And like I said, your defense is bad and your O line is bad. That's why Joe Burrow's always hurt, because the line can't protect him properly. So instead of putting money into the receiver core, which you really didn't need to, honestly, you could have put that money elsewhere, like the O line, because the O line really needs help. You could have put that money towards your defense, because your defense really needs help. It's just a lot of different things that's going on with this organization that absolutely makes no sense. It really starts with management, man, honestly, because they have an okay team as far as offense goes. They have a good team on offense. It's just the defense can never get right, and Joe Burrow can never stay upright. You know what I mean? So, and that's ultimately what's been hampering the Cincinnati Bengals over the past couple of years, man. Now, I seen a mock trade on the internet. I think was it yesterday, and they proposed the Vikings make a trade for Joe Burrow and reunite him with Justin Jefferson. I honestly wouldn't be opposed to that, but how comfortable would the Cincinnati Bengals feel, trading for J.J. McCarthy? Because that's ultimately what you would have to do in order to make a trade for the Joe Burrow trade to even make sense. You kind of would have to trade J.J. McCarthy to the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think the Cincinnati Bengals would do that. You know what I mean? But in my honest opinion, if I was the Cincinnati Bengals, I think they should, but I don't think they will, because of the fact that Jamar Chase is still on the team. You know what I'm saying? And I think Jamar Chase would be very, very disgruntled, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Chase was the reason why the Bengals signed T. Higgins to that lucrative deal, even though he didn't deserve it. So a lot of things to factor in here, man. But I think that Joe Burrow, if I was him, I would demand a trade from the Cincinnati Bengals, honestly, and maybe just talk to Jamar Chase. To tell him, hey, brother, I got to get up out of here, man, because if I stay around here, I'm gonna fucking get killed. Simple as that, man. Simple as that. Because at the end of the day, man, Joe Burrow is a special talent, and I feel like on any other team, I think he would be able to flourish. Like imagine Joe Burrow with Kevin O'Connell in that Vikings team. I think Joe Burrow could do some damage, man. But if I was Joe Burrow, man, I'm asking for a trade, demanding a trade, man, because at the end of the day, man, if this continues, man, Joe Burrow's going to end up like Andrew Luck 2.0. After the press conference I seen, man, that looked to me like a broken man. That looked to me like a man that's had enough. He's fed up. And I think as cheap as the Bengals have been over the past couple of seasons, man, I think that the Cincinnati Bengals need to try to figure out a way to get this offensive line right. If you can't get the defense right, man, at least get the O-line right, man, because I think Joe Burrow is this close, man, to tapping out on y'all. He's this close to quitting on y'all. Sorry, excuse me. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I have for y'all, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. And y'all let me know how y'all feel about Joe Burrow, man, and his career with the Cincinnati Bengals up until this point. He can throw a whole lot of touchdown passes, you know what I mean? But lack of playoff success and constant injuries has plagued his entire career, man. I think Joe Burrow, I think it's time for him to move on. But to each his own, man. But other than that, man, like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know what y'all think about Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals situation, man. I'm out. Peace.